So, hi. Hi,
Hi,
John.
Zan.
How are you?
I just woke up.
Me too.
Well, actually, I'm a pretty early riser. I like the mornings, so.
Oh.
Well, I like getting up early. I just don't like talking and getting videotaped first thing in the morning,
Uh-huh.
but I'll manage.
Okay. Well, I wanted to talk with you a little bit about Fearful Hunter, ask you a little bit about how the project got started.
Yeah, Telling Camille was 8 years and a lot of research. And it was an adaptation, so it wasn't my writing,
Mm,
so to speak, although it, I think actually adaptation is harder than writing your own work because write your own work, you can say whatever you want.
right.
After that, I really wanted to do something just kind of lighter, and also the artwork was all Victoriana and gingerbread and dance and stuff. So I wanted to do something I was only drawing the things that I wanted to draw. Punk boys and pickup trucks and trees, lots of
Uh-huh.
trees and werewolves and naked druids in the woods and stuff. So thing is that I was working on another project right when Prop 8 passed.
Hmm.
Nobody thought it was going to pass. I did nothing about it, and I just ignored it, just thinking I was totally safe. And then when it passed, it was a shocker. It was really, it felt like being in high school being bullied,
I remember that night. Because, we have this new president and we're all like, woo, this is such a
Yeah.
historic moment. And then,
Yeah, it was just like boom, and
yeah.
then everything felt really dark and scary, a little bit scary. So I wanted to do something about it. As a cartoonist, the only thing I can do is comics. So I dropped the old other project and I started working on Fearful Hunter. And everyone's talking about how like gay men being married is just a joke. It's frivolous and it's impossible, and we're just, sex maniacs, and we don't love like human beings. And I realized that no one's really showing that. I wanted to show it. So I wanted to do a story that countered these horrible voices that are saying terrible things about us that are not true. And the people who are saying that are not gay men. So gay men need to stand up and say, no, we do want monogamy, we do want marriage, and not just say it, but show it in a story, like how this would work.
Right.
Growing up, being out was the goal. Getting married was never even an option or even on the horizon. So this was all new territory for me emotionally, at least, somebody my age. And so it's a very personal project, much more personal than any other book I've done. And it has a lot of elements in it that I don't know if I intended. And I started working on it, and I developed a new process for how I worked, which is I did have a plot, I had a very strong plot, but I basically just jumped in and started sketching. That just meant I went with my emotions. So I scripted later. So I went in and I just sketched whatever I wanted. So it was an experiment.
You were sketching a lot from life, so you would go on these walks and see the beauty of your native Oakland. Was that something that was new, or is it something you always wanted to do, always liked to do?
I really wanted to draw, and drawing naked boys having sex is absolutely beautiful and natural.
Uh-huh.
But no, I love nature, and I love drawing trees, and I would draw the tree roots and then enlarge them so that they were really huge in the book, and fantastical. But it all came from I have a very long history of life drawing, and I think that informs my comics more than the stack of Marvel comics I inherited from my older brother.
Yeah.
Because otherwise I'd be drawing like Kirby,
It'd be the Macy Crackle.
which isn't a bad thing. I actually
Right.
love. So yeah, art style was completely different from Telly, and it's just my laundry list of favorite things. So I'm very happy with the 4.5 years that I spent working on it.
Well, you're definitely speeding up, I do have to say, even though it has been a 4-year project. Telany and Camille was, 8 years? This one is like over 300 pages.
I know. It's got
You're doubling your speed.
it's got a little bit of a manga feel to it too. It's breezier. It's bigger panels, less panels per page, and it just flows a lot quicker than Western comics that are like 8 tiny little panels of text heavy.
Yeah.
It's not meant to be a really heavy, dense work, although there's elements of it that got heavy. my past relationships that squeaked in, and I have a history of dating crazy boys.
Yeah.
Part of this was exploring why is that? Why am I attracted to what one friend called pretty fairy boys with damaged wings?
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to do a love story that straight people would use to describe their own. Everyone used Romeo and Juliet. Well, maybe it's going to be Oisin and Byron. Somebody say that's the type of relationship I have.
So the Kickstarter is launched now as people are watching this. We do have, of course, the digital books. We have the hardcover of the book. We have the soft cover that's going to be coming later. And we also have original art, which I think is pretty amazing. I mean, I've seen your originals and they're very pretty. So especially this piece, because it's so composed, and it's like each page. It's not like an action comic where you have, like people punching each other and jumping around and whatever, and that's lovely. But it's not so frameable.
No, they're very decorative, and they're pretty clean too. I'm a pretty clean inker, so they're not all ripped up and taped in half. And
Is there anything else you would like to say to our lovely backers?
I've never done a Kickstarter before, and it always kind of scared me to consider one, because I guess because it's been so long in publishing, it was never part of the publishing model. So now it is, though. It's and I guess I like to think about it as free selling.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just a little intimidating.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of them, and I go, and now here's ours. So I just hope everyone really likes the book, because I've worked really hard on it. And it's been my favorite book in a lot of ways. I think because it's more personal to me. I don't know. Maybe you should ask me that again, because
Did you ever think that the reaction, like the critical reaction and the reader reaction to Tony and Camille, would be as overwhelming and positive as it was?
No. That was something that, Tony and Camille was personally, that was my project that I never even knew for sure was going to get published. And so to have it published and have it win the award and to be so loved and adored by people was something that surprised me. And in this book, since it's all my writing, it's all me putting myself out there, I just have to.
A little nerve-wracking.
It is a little. No, it's gonna be so great to hear what people's reactions are. And the series has been published in chapters, and those have all been really well received. And it's actually I'm amazed it's from my peers. I've been encouraged to finish this. It's also really great that Northwest Press is actually doing the book, because it's like things are actually happening in publishing now in small presses. Like, everyone wants to publish a blockbuster book, and Northwest Press is actually publishing really good books, really putting things on the line. So
it does feel kind of like coming back around to our roots a bit, because the reason Northwest Press exists, I mean, quite frankly, is because of Tony and Camille. I went from, I would like to do something in publishing, maybe, to I need to publish this book. And so I'm really, really, really happy to come back and have another chance to publish a big, important work of yours.
Thank you.
We just got the Justin Hall Minotaur piece. I just got a message from Dave Davenport that he's finished. What's his piece? What did he call it? Something.
Oh, When Harry Met Selkie.
When Harry Met Selkie.
Oh my God, it's so good.
Oh, it's so
he
good.
Actually steals the show. He's really stealing my thunder, man. He just nailed it. And there are people like, oh, I can't wait to read this book, and I'm like, that's my book too. Oh my God. And he was like, how many pages? I go, as many as you want, because he's Dave Davenport, so I'll just ride his coattails.
Well, thanks for chatting, and thanks for working on the book and bringing it to us, and being so prolific and obsessive, because we really appreciate it. To all you folks out there in computer land, please back the project and help us make more great comics.
Thank you, Zan. Thank you, Kickstarter.
Bye.
Bye.
I'll edit this down so they won't have this part in it of me doing that like that. Okay. Yay, Kickstarter! Woo!